Welcome to the Visser Podcast. Today's episode is a personal story. It's different. 6 months ago, I did something with one of my best friends. A full genome sequence in Turkey at the Vera Intergen, which is a company that does gene testing, genetic testing. And as you know, genetic testing has evolved in the last couple of years tremendously. It's not just about where you were born and what continent you're from, but really in specific diseases, specific genes that could be issues within your family, and resolving it and being able to resolve those things. So, technology is moving at lightning space, and so is this. For us, it was like, part science, part curiosity. I was in superhero health, perfect blood work, great VO2 Max. My weight was really on point. Muscle was on point. We're talking everything I did. Even, I had real specific heart testing. I did contrast studies on my heart. The physician at the end said, if you're not going to die of a heart attack. You're going to die of something else, but your heart, no. And so, I was kind of feeling like going to bed with a cape, superhero style. So, the genome test came back and showed a mutation. And honestly, I didn't think much of it. I was invincible, or so I thought. Let's get going. So as I said before, I got myself tested. I did all the lab work. I mean, everything. ApoB, LP-A, you name it, all the top stuff. Perfect. Right? I had a vitamin D deficiency. So, up my vitamin D and done. Everything else, superfluous. Okay? And I even had a discussion. I had a discussion with the cardiologist, because we're in there. I'm doing all these tests, and my tests are coming in, and they're seeing my tests, and they're like, this guy's like, perfect. They're all surprised. And then I go to do my contrast study, and he goes, why are you doing this? There's no protocol for you to do this. We do this usually after a heart attack or whatever. And it's, if you have real issues, you don't have any issues. Why are you doing this? And so I'm discussing it with him. I'm also a doctor. I want to see this. I want to do a complete, in-depth. I want to see my vessels. I want to see my heart. I want to make sure that I got no blockages up and coming in the future. So we're discussing back and forth. Finally, I tell him, okay, dude, listen, okay, this, because, I'm trying to get on the table here. And I'm like, okay, I'll level with you. My wife is Turkish. And he looks at me and goes, why didn't you say that? Get on the table. Let's do this. So this is, after all the discussion, that's what happened. Anyway, we did all the testing, everything, hearing, eyesight. I mean, the whole, everything. Couple of days of this, and I came out flying colors, superhero style. I mean, total cool, right? So then, 6 months ago, we do this genetic test, and my buddy comes back, and I'm thinking he's got issues, and he's gonna have things what they find is gluten allergy, frickin' thing like that, right? And with me, they go, oh, wait a second, you've got a specific issue here. Yeah. So here's my genetic test. Everything seems fine. One little thing, TTR gene, VAL142LLE mutation, aka VAL121LLE, autosomal dominant late-onset transthyretin amyloidosis, ATTR-CM, silent until the age of around 60. Then, if untreated, you have 5 to 7 years of survival. Yeah. Every modern machine said I was fine. but my DNA was already whispering the truth. Many doctors miss it until it's too late because amyloidosis mimics normal aging or heart failure with preserved EF. The thing with this is, before 2020, 2, if you were caught with this, you were waiting for liver transplant, heart transplant, and there were very few options. Luckily, now there's more options. It's a genetic risk that we run in the Caribbean, especially in the Caribbean, that's undiagnosed because physicians can't see it. It's worldwide. I mean, it's one of these, things that is not too common. And so physicians, you have to go to a specialist to kind of see this. Genetic test is where they find it. And in the Caribbean, because of the African mix within the Caribbean, we have this gene. We have a higher percentage of this. And what happens is you have protein misfolding, amyloids. Like, you've heard of amyloids being collected in the brain, and which gives you Alzheimer's. So think of this, amyloids being produced by the liver that are proteins that are misfolding in the muscle of your heart. So your heart starts becoming, within 5 years, stiffer and stiffer. Not the arteries, not everything. The muscle itself starts becoming stiffer until you end up with a rock. And so this is serious stuff. And in my case, because my, diet, my training is on point, you know all I do, right? And yet, this is the pebble that's going to take me down if I hadn't found it. So I found it. And the next couple of weeks were a rush to the Netherlands to do all sorts of testing. So this September 2025, I went to the cardiologist at UMC Utrecht. We did echocardiogram, ECG, nuclear scans, EMG prep, water baths, neurology, right? So they checked, because one of the things that happens is in the neurology, you can get carpal tunnel syndrome. These are things that this also produces, neuropathy in the extremities. So everything started coming out normal. By the 5th, all clear. I was ready to, frame the results like a diploma. But the DNA doesn't lie. So the twist is that it might have not started yet, but it will. And does my lifestyle have a lot to do with that? Probably. But this is one of these genetic deviations that is not the normal 25% genetics, 75% epigenetics, which we can change with our lifestyle. This one is just a fault in the complete wiring. It's a fault in the programming of the DNA, where all of a sudden you start, after 60, producing faulty protein that causes the heart muscle to start stiffening more and more. And you're a cardiologist, and most doctors will not find this. They will be treating you for all kinds of other stuff, but they will not find this if they don't do a genetic test. So I've done an array of testing. I mean, complete heart exams. I mean, anything they can throw at me, specifically looking for amyloidosis. Nerve tests to see that and a nerve test, man, let me tell you, that's like getting little shocks for an hour or more through every part of your body, to your fingertips, to your toes. I mean, they're just shocking you to see, how fast the the nerves conduct. how good the nerves conduct, how well they conduct, and it's on a computer screen, and they're just doing all this stuff to make sure that it hasn't started there yet. And then you end up going, you still need to do the eyes, because that's the other place that the amyloidosis can form initially, is in the eyes. So a complete eye exam, but specifically for this. So there's need to be a doctor that's specialized in this field. And so I ended up in this research hospital at the area of heart transplantation, because that's where they have these specialties. So even that, looking at going through heart transplantation area is like shocking. It's like, oh my God, are you serious now? So really, huge shock. But good news. There are some medications, very hard, very expensive, in the neighborhood of $500,000 a year, if you're in the States. There's new gene therapies coming up that are very promising. And there's a preventative medicine that they're also working on. And I'm trying to get into that trial. So these are all human trials happening right now. So I'm going to keep you, if you like this, I'm going to keep you updated. I'm going to have you go through this journey with me, because it's an important one. It's something a lot of people miss. After everything is said and done, and you can, even we're training physicians in Turkey, and we're training physicians worldwide to start using genetic testing. They're not used to genetic testing or using genetic testing in their specialties. And what we're seeing is, because genetic testing has really evolved in the last years, we're able to detect things we weren't able to detect before, that can give us insights in diseases, insights in what medications work and what don't work with the individual, that you cannot get from a lab test. You cannot get from a scan, an MRI, the general tools we have available to us. So genetic testing becomes a massive game changer. And experiencing it myself, being shocked, going through all the emotions, going through like, how can they? I'm freaking like superhero healthy. How the frick does this happen to me? But it can. It can. And if it can happen to me, trust me, it can happen to you. So, I send out tests to my brother, to my kids, because everyone in my family needs to be tested, because it's hereditary. I could have passed it on. And I don't want to pass it on. I want to be able to stop it. So I need everyone tested on this. So, and so, like in the episode before, where we went over genetic testing, there are now so many, we're talking tens of thousands of genetic tests that are run to see where these aberrations are. So, do you think it's important? Yes, it is. It is. Because, regular ECG, echo strain, NT-proBNP, tropins, cardiac MRI, TC9MP-YP, annual neural exams, carpal tunnel, neuropathy, treatments already available. I mean, this is, as long as you don't have this test, what are you doing? They don't know what they're looking for. They're not going to see it. Okay, so the treatments for people that do have this, the treatments that are available is tafamidis, an RNA drug, patisiran, fultisiran. So, I don't know who comes up with these names, man. New therapies in the pipeline, like I said, with RNA technology, and so there is stuff happening. It's not here yet. The drugs that are very expensive that are available right now have their side effects, of course. but there's hope. And right now, all they do is extend. Okay, so they'll give you 15 years, they'll give you 17 years, they extend your time. But in the next 5 years, next 10 years, we'll have real solutions here. And, you know, your first degree relatives should be screened. The real danger isn't the mutation, it's ignorance. Once you know, you can fight. Okay, so look at the bigger picture. 6 months ago, I shrugged off a genome report because I felt indestructible. Today, I understand prevention isn't only about cholesterol and weight. Sometimes the battle is at a molecular level, at a genetic level. So I need you to look at this. I encourage you to learn about your family history. Consider genetic testing if risk is suspected. Don't let perfect labs blind you from deeper risks. My mission remains the same: to extend not just lifespan, but health span. But this journey made it crystal clear. The future of medicine is combining lifestyle with precision genetics. That's how we beat the silent killers. Till next time, this story continues. Follow it. Take care and have a great, empowering, and powerful week. See you next week.